Hello, everyone, and usually I have a very long-winded speech to go on to kick things off, but I'm going to keep this short, sweet, and to the point because we have a lot to talk about here today. I have one quote to lead us off with, and then we'll get underway from one of my favorite authors, F. Scott Fitzgerald. He says, "It's a funny thing about coming home. It looks the same, it smells the same, it feels the same, and you realize what has changed is you." And while we may have changed, one thing that we can always come back to is this home of ours right here at Adamson Stadium. Happy homecoming, everybody, as the California Vulcans take on the Clarion Golden Eagles, John Sape and Adam Crawford, to take you through today's action. Adam, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well, buddy. I wasn't able to travel with you guys last week to Edinburgh, but glad to be back here at Adamson Stadium. Should have a really good game on our hands. This Clarion team, not the Clarion of old that California's used to going up against. They have a new look, a new swagger and confidence about them. And in their minds, they're facing California on their home turf at a great time. California were coming off of a tough loss last week against Edinburgh and the week before against Seton Hill here at home. And they're looking to capitalize here today.
Yeah, two teams kind of trending in opposite directions. Clarion on the way up, California on the way down. Clarion coming away with a huge win in a shootout last week against Gannon, 48-46 up in Erie, with Jace Ferguson getting his first career start in that contest, responsible for 5 touchdowns, 4 through the air, 1 on the ground. Just a phenomenal game from him. And then California, like you said, falling to Edinburgh in their own homecoming game of their own. So kind of feeling a bit of that pressure, but nonetheless, California has the ability to kind of right that wrong here on their own home field, like we've seen them do much of in this past year or so, just always coming back to this home field, just trying to lean on that home field advantage and try to get a big win here today against the Golden Eagles. And before we get started, there is a whistle blown as the ball falls off the tee, but California going from left to right to start, Clarion going from right to left. The kick is underway here at Adamson Stadium. Happy homecoming. Fielded by Johnson inside his own 10. Johnson getting flipped over end, just past the 20-yard line. And looking at the Vulcan depth chart on offense, it reads Roman Purcell as the starting quarterback, but a late change as he's over on the sideline with an apparent shoulder injury that he was dealing with. And it will be Peyton Hill starting at quarterback for the Vulcans. We've seen a little bit of Hill in the last couple of games. We saw him in the fourth quarter against Seton Hill, and we saw him in the second half against Edinburgh.
Yeah, Purcell struggling the last couple of games. They went to Peyton Hill late in that Seton Hill game, trying to jumpstart this offense. Purcell took a big shot last week, knocked him out for the remainder of that game. Hill took over, played pretty well, did throw an interception, but good completion numbers, threw for a little over 150 yards. As Vulcan offense is going to get penalized here early.
Yeah, whistle blown again already before a play has even gone off. And a delay of game call against this Vulcan offense. Not something that you would like to see if you're a Vulcan fan. That'll back him up 5 yards. 1st and 10 now inside of their own 20. Ball will be placed at the 17-yard line. On the why I said 1st and 10. 1st and 15 at the 17. Johnson in motion. Hill taking the snap. Quick pass caught over the middle to Williams. Williams able to work his way upfield before being swarmed. Brought down just shy of that first down marker.
And that's something that this Vulcan offense has been missing the last couple of games, is just basic rhythm. They haven't really been able to get their feet under them. They're notorious this season for fast starts, but throughout the game just really struggling to get stuff going on the ground, especially with the absence of Bobby Boyd these last number of games. And the quarterback position has really been an issue for the Vulcans.
Yeah, Williams last week, 4 catches for 139 yards. This time a handoff to Agenor. Agenor just trying to find a hole. Will do enough just to get the first down. Falls forward at about the 35-yard line. And last week, the rushing attack for California very much outmatched that of Edinburgh. 79 yards on the ground, much of that in the second half compared to Edinburgh's 220 on the ground. The running backs for the Fighting Scots just putting up numbers on the ground against California, and somehow the Vulcans were still able to keep that one pretty close down to the wire. It will be 1st and 10. Ball placed at the 36, 4 wide here for Hill. Quick pass to the outside, but nowhere to go for Lewis as he's wrapped up immediately. A short gain, 2nd and long here for the Vulcan offense.
As you mentioned, the Vulcan rushing attack not up to standards, especially considering their counterpart last week. Kendrick Aganor has been kind of the bell cow here these last couple of games, as we mentioned, without Bobby Boyd. And Aganor, a slow start to the season, but especially in that Seton Hill game, you really saw him start to take off. But the problem with the Vulcans the last 2 games has been they haven't been able to play from in front and really lean on that running game that they like to do.
2nd down and 9. Ball at the 37. Hill takes the snap, looking to throw. Stepping up, has a man outside. Williams able to make the catch. Nice backstep, a couple backsteps, able to make some men miss. And brought down at the 45, about half a yard to a yard shy of the 1st down.
And this Clarion defense has been pretty tough against the run, and just in general all season long, letting up fewer than 250 yards a game, giving up about 95 on the ground per game, which if you can keep teams under 100 yards on the ground in a football game, that's usually a recipe for success.
3rd down and 1. Hershey in motion here for the Vulcans. Snap handoff this time to Aganor, just running it right up the gut. Will power his way forward and will do enough to pick up the 1st down. Decent push by that Vulcan offensive front.
From the 47.
11:45 to go here in the 1st quarter. 1st and 10 from the 47. Hill. Handoff again to Aganor. Aganor a bit more of a seam this time. Nice chunky yardage on 1st down. Picks up about 6. Brought down inside of Clarion territory at about the 48-yard line.
There's a couple simple zone reads right up the gut here for California, and the strength of this Clarion defense is their interior linebackers. And as long as California is able to get up to that 2nd level before those linebackers get involved, they'll take that all day.
Handoff again to Aganor, just trying to run around the right side. Brought down just shy of the 1st down this time. Depending on the spot, the official on the far side giving him a more favorable spot, but the near side official marking him about half a yard shy. 3rd down and about 1 here for the Vulcan offense. Pistol formation here for the Vulcans. Hershey in motion again. Another handoff to Aganor. Aganor muscling his way forward. The pack still moving, still on their feet. And Aganor will do enough to pick up the 1st down. Picks up about 5 on that run. Brought down at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, California that time on 3rd and short goes to a bit of a heavier package, trying to run along that left side, and Clarion tries to match it along the defensive front, trying to get as many bodies up towards the line of scrimmage as they can. A good push there from California gives a nice hole for Kendrick Aganor.
Yeah, you saw some 12 personnel with Lehu and Hershey in there, just getting the big boys, just trying to muscle his way forward. 1st and 10 now from the Clarion 39. Aganor switches the sides of Hill, now on Hill's left. Hill looking to throw on 1st down. Quick pass to the near side, caught by Johnson, able to make a man miss. Backstep, makes another man miss. Hurtling over and brought down at about the 27. Fancy footwork and the acrobatics from DeVay Johnson.
You saw DeAve Johnson's ability to run after the catch, and he's a guy that Hill has to get comfortable throwing to. Hasn't been involved a whole lot these last couple games, but he is the best receiver in that group for California.
DeAve Johnson with a nice catch picks up the 1st down for California. In motion here, back across the formation. Handoff this time to Agenor, but he's not able to get anywhere. Brought down behind the line of scrimmage by number 92, Jalen Miller. Loss of about 1, 2nd down and 11 now here for the Vulcan offense. And like you mentioned earlier, this linebacking core, a strength of the Golden Eagle defense. Griffin Buzzle named the PSAC Defensive Athlete of the Week last week on the western side. Him and Dylan Tingle have been some strong points for this Golden Eagle defense. 2nd and 11. Hill looking to throw. Has some time, airing it out deep down the field, looking for Williams, and he's able to make the grab. 1st and goal here for California.
Man coverage for Clarion. Smash concept on the outside. Got a corner route from Williams heading towards the sidelines, and a good read by Phaeton Hill, and good ball placement too, not giving Clarion's defensive backs any chance to make a play on the football.
Yeah, as we've seen with Hill in that quarterback, not afraid to take these deep shots down the field. 1st and goal, handoff to Agenor, up the gut, Pack moving forward, and Agenor will be marked just shy of the end zone. About a yard short, 2nd down and goal from the 1.
And this is what you wanted to see from California. They haven't really been very dynamic this season on offense. It's been the Bobby Boyd show, and then once he's gone out, it's been kind of next man up, but the next men up haven't been able to deliver, and there hasn't been much of a passing attack at all. But good work on this first drive, doing it on the ground and through the air.
Direct snap to Lehu. Lehu being shoved into the end zone for the Vulcan touchdown. Pulling out all the tricks, Jake Lehu, who had the fullback dive touchdown last week, gets another one here today. A direct snap and able to work his way in for the touchdown. California strike first. 6:56 remaining here in the first quarter. California on top to start. Radcliffe on to attempt the extra point. The kick is up, and the kick from Radcliffe is good. 6:56 remaining in the first quarter. It is California 7, Clarion nothing. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back right here on CUTV, CUTV Sports 1, and the PSAC Digital Network.
Students, after the big game and the festivities at the homecoming and community dessert reception, come enjoy theater improv, sports challenges photo booth, face painting, puppetry, giant foam Jenga, and much more. Join us October 18th from 6 to 8 p.m. in the Natali Student Center for games, treats, contests, music, and surprises. All ages invited, and bring your Halloween spirit.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Adamson Stadium as California strike first. 7-0 the score. Run yard rush from Jake Lehu kicks things off here. Homecoming weekend for California. And again, just in a game like this, pulling out all the stops, and Lehu sent in motion, just lines up under center, takes the snap, and able to work his way in for the touchdown.
And with the last 2 weeks not going the way that you've wanted them, if you're California, that is a picture-perfect opening drive, doing it all through the air and on the ground, able to punch it in, get some momentum here early.
Hall and Kent deep to return here for Clarion, fielded by Kent at his own 10-yard line. Kent able to break a couple of tackles and pushed out of bounds at the 38-yard line by Hayden Boland, the kicker. So some decent field position here for the Golden Eagle offense to kick things off on their first offensive possession. And again, it's not a position that Clarion is unfamiliar with. last week against Gannon, like we talked about, it was a bloodbath, 48-46 the score. Clarion got out to a 21-0 lead. They were up 28-19 at half before the second half comeback nearly was able to get them. But first down handoff goes nowhere for Callan Simons. Simmons brought down for a 1-yard loss.
And that's something that's going to be crucial here for California, giving up almost 200 yards, well over 200 yards per game on the ground these last couple. Grant Hopple being back, the leader on the defense, should be a big help.
Gercio with the throw, able to find Simmons in the flat. And Evan Hopkins not able to bring him down, but able to force Simmons out of bounds for a short gain. And Gercio, who missed last week's game against Gannon, back in the starting lineup in at quarterback for the Golden Eagles. Like I said, Jace Ferguson stepping in and doing a phenomenal job in his place. 19 for 27, 334 yards, 4 touchdowns, and had an additional 81 yards and a touchdown on the ground for the Golden Eagles last week. Third down, the snap goes over his head. Gercio able to recover. Now rolling to his right, airing out deep down the field. Has a man. Pass is incomplete. Falls in and out of the hands of Ray Jackson. Got behind Alexi Sangster Jr.
That'll be 4th down and 9.
Bit of an emotional roller coaster. Was bad for Clarion, then nearly good, but then ends up being bad once again as the pass falls incomplete and a 3-and-out for the Golden Eagle offense.
Yeah, bad snap causes Gercio to get uncomfortable quickly on that play. He does a great job at recovering and finding an open man. And that time, if Jackson just comes back to the ball and reaches out for it, he might have had a chance to bring that one down.
A bit of a line drive punt. Williams fields it and just trying to slip his way up the field. Gets brought down at the 21. So the Vulcan offense back out there, and again, this is compared to last week for California, a complete turnaround on both fronts. Last week, in both opening drives offensively for Edinburgh, they were able to just march their way down the field and get into the end zone both times, and the Vulcan offense kind of stalled out around midfield, but so far been the complete opposite. 1st and 10 from the 21. Hill hands this one off to Agenor. Agenor able to bumble forward, picks up about 4, brought down at the 25.
And California did a great job on that first drive, and here on this first play of their second drive, staying ahead of schedule and giving themselves manageable second and third down opportunities. And I talked on that first drive about the lack of rhythm, especially in the passing game. Peyton Hill on that first drive, 5 for his first 5. And that's exactly the kind of rhythm that you want your quarterback to settle into, get him settled into this game nicely.
Design QB keeper Hill just needs a block on the outside. Hill waltzes on out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. Great design QB draw, picks up about 20 yards.
That's something that we saw a lot with Roman Purcell under center for the Vulcans. He was using his legs to get him out of a lot of situations, a lot of designed quarterback runs as well to be an expansion of that running game. Peyton Hill, not as much of a runner as Roman Purcell, but as you can see there, California saw something that they liked and a good play design on the quarterback draw.
1st and 10 from the 45. Play action, Purcell airing it out to the near side. Broken up, intended for Johnson. Great coverage on the near side by Christopher Shackelford. Say that 3 times fast. Second down and 10 now here for the Vulcan offense. Four receivers set trips to the near side, one-on-one on the far. Hill looking to throw once again, stepping up, quick dump down to Agenor, but he's gobbled up right away. A gain of 1, and it was Griffin Buzzle on the stop. 3rd and long here for the Vulcans.
That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 9 from the 46.
As you mentioned on the last drive, Griffin Buzzle getting PSAC honors from the game last week against Gannon. But the other linebackers, Dylan Tingle and Terrell Booth, these guys fly around sideline to sideline, and they make it very difficult for opposing offenses to really get things going.
Last week, Buzzle, 14 tackles and 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Hale, deep shot. Won't find its mark. Intended for Williams, just a little bit too far ahead of him. Falls incomplete. 4th down and 9 from the 46. Gonzalez and the punting unit will come out onto the field here for California. It will be Simmons back deep to return here for Clarion, standing at about his 13-yard line. Two seconds left here on the play clock. And a whistle blown. I think a timeout taken. Or a flag thrown in the backfield, for a delay of game.
Yeah, that time California just taking the delay game really close to midfield, just trying to give their punter Adrian Gonzalez a little bit more room to work with, trying to pin Clarion deep inside their own 20.
Yeah, that'll move Gonzalez back, but the ball hasn't moved, so I'm not quite sure if they just have picked the flag up.
Illegal substitution on the defense. 12 players in formation. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Actually, an illegal substitution penalty against the Golden Eagles. So that'll push the Vulcans up 5 yards. So it'll be a 4th down and 4 from the Clarion side of the field, from their own 49. So Simmons takes about 2 yards back. David Willis in motion. Gonzalez just able to get it away. Beautiful punt from Gonzalez as that one goes out of bounds at about the 6-yard line, but an injured Vulcan down on the field right behind the play is right around Gonzalez as somebody got leveled right about the 40-yard line. As that pressure from the special teams unit from Clarion was something fierce.
Yeah, Clarion that time with a really good rush, able to break through the front line for California, almost got a hand on that punt. It looked like a couple bodies got tangled up there in tight on Adrian Gonzalez. Andrew Gonzalez.
Say Adrian won the batting title.
Yeah, sorry, I watched the Dodgers clinch a World Series berth last night. I had that on my mind still.
The injured Vulcan down on the play was Jake Leahu, number 32. He's able to make his way back onto his feet and walk off the field on his own accord. So hopefully he's all right. He's able to make his way back out onto the field at some point in this game. Responsible for the Vulcans' touchdown already in this contest. But it will be 1st and 10 for the Golden Eagles, from their own 6-yard line, backed up deep inside of their own territory, off of that punt from Gonzalez. Gercio back out there. 4 receivers set. Takes the snap, looking to throw on first down. Pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage.
This is incomplete. Knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Second down and 10.
Cedric Vesa able to get a hand on it. Second down and 10 now here for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, this Vulcan's defense here early has been really aggressive, and that's something that we haven't really seen during this 2-game losing streak.
An empty set here for Gercio on second down and 10. 2:54 remaining here in the first quarter. 5 wide. California looking to send some pressure. Man in motion. Gercio keeps it himself. Looking for a lane on the outside. Runs out of bounds past the 10-yard line. Able to get him in the offense some breathing room. Be a third down and about 4 here for the Golden Eagle offense.
Anthony Gercio, the quarterback, not afraid to call his own number. He is the second leading rusher on this Golden Eagles offense, right behind Kalen Simmons.
Third and 4. Another empty set here for Gercio. Takes the snap. California setting the pressure. Pass caught over the middle. Holt Egan able to hold on to it and able to pick up the first down here for the Golden Eagles.
Egan with his first catch had a good release off the line, beat Keon Powell, the corner, on a slant over the middle, and good read by Gercio, recognizing the pressure, getting the ball out quickly. And Egan is one of the 2 receivers that Gercio is going to try to look to in this game.
Man in motion. Handoff around the outside. Zach Slomers on the carry. Gain of about 3. 3 or 4 on the ground there that time for Slomers. Second down and 6. Quickly back to the line. Gercio looking to throw on second down. Pass caught for a first down. Jaytwan Williams with the reception.
For another first down, it'll be first and 10 from the 35.
You can see the explosiveness of this Golden Eagle offense. They were so quick back to the line just immediately. After one play, they're right back to it, and you can see how they're able to wear these defenses down.
Yeah, and that's something that California had a headache preparing for this week. Such a dynamic offense, so many ways that they're able to move the ball down the field.
First and 10, Gercio rolling out, airing out deep down the field. Pass is incomplete. Great coverage intended for Devon Jones. Excuse me. Davin. So many different ways. Davin Jones, the intended target. Amori Thompson on the coverage.
At that time, Clarion rolls Gercio out to his left, trying to get the whole defense flowing that way, and it's a good play design. It gets rid of the backside safety, so you're able to open up that one-on-one on the far side to take that shot just a little bit out of bounds.
Second and 10, Gercio. Pass across the hash. Pass incomplete. Great coverage by Keon Powell. Able to break it up. Intended for Williams again.
Yeah, Powell does a great job staying with his receiver on the comeback route. And that time it looked like if he had just turned his head around, he might have been able to pick that off and take it the other way for 6. But a great job just breaking it up and forcing a 3rd and long here for Clarion.
Third down and 10 from the 35. Another empty set here for Gercio. California setting the house. Gercio under pressure, stepping up, and Gercio isn't able to get out of it. Malachi Thomas on the sack. I think that will take us to the second quarter. 4th down and about 18 on the 3rd down sack from Thomas. And we've seen this empty set time and time again on this drive, and that time the pressure from the Vulcans finally got home. The punting unit out here for Clarion. Williams back deep to receive here for California. Clarion will punt us away. Williams, fair catch signaled and caught. 1 second left on the clock. So there will be one final play before the end of the first quarter. Ball will be placed at the 33-yard line here for the Vulcan offense. First down and 10 for Phaeton Hill and California.
As you mentioned, a lot of empty sets so far for Clarion, and it's great for spreading the field out and creating space for your playmakers. But the problem with an empty set is you don't have a whole lot of extra blockers there to hold up in protection, and especially if the Vulcans are trusting their guys on the back end to cover for a couple seconds and able to hit home and sending all that pressure, it makes it very difficult for Gercio to stand in that pocket.
Yeah, you got about 2 seconds in that empty set of California setting the pressure. 1st and 10, handoff this time to Craigett. Craigett able to make a man miss. Brought down at about the 41-yard line, and that'll take us into the second quarter. After one, it is California 7, Clarion nothing, and we're going to keep it here. Usually we go to a commercial break, but with the homecoming festivities, we do have some recognition here to two of the greatest coaches in the history of California's history, Coach Bertinoli for the California softball team and Coach Michael Conti for the California baseball team, both being recognized, both recently retired here from the Vulcans, putting in over about 60 years of service here. Coach Bertinoli, a 2-time national champion in softball, and Coach Conti, multiple-time PSAC winner here in his time at California. And again, two of the all-time greats, both being recognized for their work and their dedication here for California here at this year's homecoming.
Yeah, Coach Conti is somebody who means a whole heck of a lot to me personally. He gave me my shot to live out my dream at playing baseball as long as I could and giving me a chance to play at the collegiate level, and he was a huge help to me both on the field and off the field. And I know this is driving him crazy because he hates recognition and all that stuff, but no, it is very well deserved, and congratulations on a phenomenal career, Coach, and I know he's already enjoying it, but keep enjoying that retirement.
Again, a huge congratulations to Coach Bertinoli and Coach Conti on all of their hard work and their illustrious careers, as they can now enjoy retirement. As we're back underway, second down handoff to Craigett again. Forward progress marks him past the first down marker.
Craigett, the ball carrier, good for a Vulcans.
He needed 2. He got 3. Picks up the first down. The offense keeping up the tempo that we saw Clarion have, quickly back to the line. Hill making some adjustments. 3 receivers set for him. Craigett still in the backfield to his right. 1st and 10 from the 44. Hill looking to throw. Has Spencer, and Spencer able to make the grab inside of Clarion territory. Pushed out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
As we saw pregame, Jeff Yamache out for this game today, and the guy having to step up in his absence is Amir Spencer. Had a good start to the season, was a good target in the slot there for Roman Purcell, and Phaeton Hill able to find him here as he streaks open along the right side.
We've seen Hill hit that post a couple of times. 1st and 10 from the 35. Handoff again to Craigett, able to make a man miss, and Craigett able to find the seaming. Craigett into some open space, and now into the red zone, pushed out of bounds at the 20-yard line. A 15-yard rush on first down here for Dejan Craigett.
And the quarterback's best friend is a good running game, and this running game has gotten off to a phenomenal start. This O-line getting a great push, and that time Logan Greer, the center, lost his helmet on that play, so he'll have to come out, and Blaze Richards will take his spot at the center position for this play.
I remember a few weeks ago there was a game where I think every other play, someone's helmet was flying off. In that Seton Hill game, everyone's helmet, every other play seemed to tighten up. Hill looking to throw, airing it out towards the end zone, trying to find Spencer just out of the reach of him. He had a couple of steps on the defenders, but Hill, the placement just wasn't quite there for him. 2nd down and 10 now for the Vulcan offense.
Yeah, these Vulcan receivers able to create a good bit of space on these Clarion defensive backs, which is a tough thing to do. Not a lot of teams have been able to do it. And Phaeton Hill, for the most part, has been very accurate to start this game. But that time just a little bit out of the reach of Spencer.
2nd and 10 from the 20. Williams in motion. Hill looking to throw once again. A designed screen, but that time the pressure a little bit insurmountable for Hill. Just throws it into the ground right in front of Craigett. Falls incomplete. 3rd down and 10. The referee reiterates that there is no foul for intentional grounding as Craigett was in the area. And Hill quickly back to the line here for California. 3rd down and 10 from the 20. 4 receiver set. Agnor back in alongside Hill. Takes a snap, looking to throw. Stepping up, moving around, and Hill will be brought down. Jack Capitosto with the sack. Vulcans will lose about 9 yards. First time we've seen the pressure really get to Hill and this Vulcan passing attack. And out comes Radcliffe to attempt a long field goal here for California.
Yeah, that time just nobody able to get open downfield. Hill forced to hold on to it.
Gonzalez to hold. Radcliffe's kick is up. And Radcliffe's kick is good. 12-16 remaining here in the 2nd quarter. California 10, Clarion nothing. We'll take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back right here on CUTV, CUTV Sports 1, and the PSAC Digital Network. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Adamson Stadium. California takes a 10-0 lead over the Clarion Golden Eagles with 12-16 remaining here in the first half. Off the back, what was it, a 46-yard field goal by Harry Radcliffe. Hayden Boland to kick us off. It will be fielded by Logan Kent inside the 10-yard line. Kent on the return, spun and brought down just shy of the 25-yard line. And again, this Golden Eagle offense off to a slow start in this game, but we know is one that is mighty dangerous.
Yeah, especially the theme of the season for California has been fast starts, and then they've unintentionally been letting their foot off the pedal and allowing other teams to crawl their way back into games. So with a 2-score lead here, this possession is going to be crucial here for this Vulcan defense.
1st and 10 from the 23. First, Gercio keeps it himself, flipped over. Gain of about 3 on the read option keeper.
Makes his way to the 26-yard line. Thomas on the stop. 3, second down and
In the game of the day, the score update, Slippery Rock IUP. Slippery Rock currently leading 30-27 in the fourth quarter of that contest, 12:40 remaining over there up in Slippery Rock. Second and 7, Garcia looking to throw. Has a man down the sideline, pass is caught. Holt Egan with the reception and pushed out inside of California territory. Like you mentioned earlier, one of Garcio's favored receivers able to pull on the grab.
Yeah, that time just a simple go route. Had one-on-one on the outside and a good ball placement from Garcio.
Quickly back to the line, handoff this time. Actually, no, keeps it himself. Garcio trying to find the lane around the outside, brought down by Nevin Hopkins. A gain of about 9 on the keeper.
That was a good tackle that time by Hopkins in pursuit, because if he missed that tackle, Garcio had a block on the outside, he could have been gone.
Screen pass on the far side. Some decent blocks. Is able to give Jones a lane. Is able to pick up the first down there for the Golden Eagles. Tough spot as Clarion so quick back to the line. 1st and 10, already back up there. Garcio takes a snap, looking to throw. Pass over the middle, caught by Jones, able to avoid the hit. Brought down at the 11.
A good pass that time by Garcio over the second level of defenders. And Devon Jones that time, good job getting up. Only 5'9", 150 pounds. Certainly not the biggest guy on the field, but that time he climbed the ladder.
Garcio, pass caught. Spun down. Ray Jackson with the reception. Brought down inside the 5, but a flag thrown. Waiting to see the official call. Will give California a chance to catch their breath and make a couple of substitutions. We see Clarion not too happy about the call, as this one might be going against them and pushing them back.
Yeah, on that play design, you usually see pass interference on the offense.
Offense, number 4.
That is exactly what's called pass interference against Zach Slomers, and
I couldn't see initially who the receiver was that was on the fade route, but you usually see that slot fade and then a slant on the outside coming behind it, setting basically a pick on the defensive backs. Usually get man coverage down there tight by the goal line, and good job by the officials. That time number 4, Slomers, just blocking a little bit too far downfield.
Garcia looking to throw once again. And that time Egan can't pull it in. A little high that time from Garcia. 2nd and 25 now here for the Golden Eagles. Nevin Hopkins with the coverage once again.
Yeah, Egan a little shaken up after the hit from Keith Charney in the secondary. He was fully extended going up to make that catch, unable to pull it down, and then took a big lick from Charney on the back end.
9:49 remaining here in the second quarter. Garcia making some last-second adjustments. 1 second left on the play clock, and Clarion are going to have to take a timeout. Something wasn't quite right there as Garcia was making some last-second adjustments, but they couldn't get the play off, so they'll burn their first timeout of the half. 9:49 remaining here in the first half. Again, they have the one loss on the season, but they've had some impressive wins. They had the opening win against Wheeling, a shutout, 34-0. West Virginia Wesleyan, Shippensburg, Shepherd, and then that shootout win against Gannon. Their only loss was against Edinburgh 2 weeks ago. But in that game, they were playing with, I believe, their third-string quarterback, as there was a lot going on in that contest. A 21-20 loss against the Fighting Scots. So far, like you mentioned at the top of the game, a new look Clarion team that California is not really used to seeing, as very similar to the Edinburgh situation. The Vulcans winners of 18 straight games against the Golden Eagles. They have not lost since 2004 against Clarion. I was 2 years old the last time Clarion was able to defeat California in a football contest. Handoff this time to Simmons. Able to pick up a decent chunk of yardage.
Simmons, the ball carrier.
Brought down at the 18 or 17-yard line. Gain of about 9. Third down and long here for the Golden Eagle offense.
That's going to bring up a third down and long.
Third and 16 now here for Clarion. 4 receivers set for Gercio. Looking to throw. Stepping up. Able to find Simmons across the middle. Simmons able to break a tackle and able to make his way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Touchdown, Clarion.
Kalen Simmons on the score and Clarion on the board. Some whistles blown after the play as an injured Vulcan down on the far sideline.
And it's Grant Hopple for the Vulcans defense, not what you wanted to see. Just got him back this week after missing a couple weeks due to injury. But that time it was a great job by Gercio stepping up in the pocket, saw he had nowhere to go, finds his outlet in Simmons right in front of him, and it was all Simmons after the catch, able to evade one Vulcan defender and then break another tackle en route to a touchdown, hopefully making this a field goal length away from a tie game.
Hopple back to his feet. And like you said, would be a huge blow for this Vulcan defense as they just got him back.
Looks to be favoring that left shoulder that has a brace on it, and you can tell he is very upset.
But Hopple walking off the field on his own accord. And again, hopefully he's able to make his way back into the game at some point. On to attempt the extra point is Andrew Curtis, another PSAC player of the week from last week, the special teams player in the west side of PSAC. On to attempt the extra point. His kick is up, and Curtis's kick is good. 9:07 remaining here in the first half. It is California 10, Clarion 7. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back right here on CUTV, CUTV Sports 1, and the PSAC Digital Network.
The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference celebrates its 75th season in 2025 to 26, highlighting the many athletic achievements of its membership institutions. The PSAC has won 59 national team titles, 310 individual titles, produced 29 all-time Olympians, and 43 former PSAC players and coaches have been elected to National Halls of Fame. PSAC proud for 75 years and many more to come.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Adamson Stadium. And Clarion able to respond 10-7 now the score with 9:07 remaining here in the first half. Williams will watch that one sail into the end zone for a touchback. And you said that offensive drive for Clarion was crucial, and they were able to respond. Now California has a chance to make a response of their own here.
Yeah, California now with a 3-point cushion on Clarion. Definitely going to look to get some points here on the board before the halftime break. Still with 9 minutes to go here. Probably going to look to chew some clock and get out of here with a 2-score lead before halftime as Clarion does get the ball to open up the second half.
1st and 10 from the 25. Hill in the offense back out there. Low snap. Hill looking to air it out. Trying to find Johnson. Pass will fall incomplete. Great coverage
Intended for Johnson.
That time by Zay Brisbane down the field.
And that time, most of the field pretty well covered by Clarion. Good job on the back end there by the Golden Eagles. Peyton Hill realized that the safety was going to pick up Johnson on the go route and ended up having one-on-one with his best target. Just threw it up, hoping to make a play.
2nd and 10 to pitch. Agenor trying to find some room, able to bounce off a defender. Working his way forward, brought down at the 30. Gain of 5 gives California 3rd and manageable here. 3rd down and 5 now here for the Vulcan offense.
And that's the difference you'll see with Kendrick Agenor in as opposed to Bobby Boyd. Boyd more the elusive, quicker, more burst-like running back, and Agenor he's going to look to lower a shoulder into. He's more of a contact seeker in that backfield.
3rd down and 5. Hill looking to throw. Quick pass caught by Williams on the outside. Nice spin move to evade the danger, pick up the 1st down. Williams able to spin away from Shackelford, who was in pursuit and able to pick up enough yardage for that 1st down.
That is great awareness by Deontay Williams, knowing where the defender was coming from, knowing how much room he had left on that sideline to spin away and pick up the 1st down.
Fresh set of downs here for California. 1st and 10 from the 36. 3 receiver set. Agenor still the back alongside of Hill. Johnson now in motion. Handoff to Agenor this time. Nowhere really to go as the pack
Agenor the ball carrier.
won't move forward a whole lot. A short gain of about half a yard to a yard.
2nd down and 9.
2nd down and 9 now for the Vulcan offense. 7:25 and rolling here, remaining in the 1st half. Four receivers out there for California. 3 on the far, 1 on the near. Hill in the gun. Now sends Agenor out, so an empty set for Peyton Hill. Low snap, Hill. Quick pass over the middle is caught. Amir Spencer on the grab, and his forward progress will give him enough for the 1st down.
That was a great throw by Peyton Hill there, leading Spencer away from the defenders in zone coverage, and that's the kind of throw you'll see from an experienced starter. But Peyton Hill playing beyond his experience level here so far in this one, having a good feel for what the defense is trying to do.
And a great adjustment that time by Spencer as well. Looked like he maybe just overran it, but able to come back, make the grab, and pick up the 1st down. So it's 1st and 10 for California from their own 47. 4 receivers set once again. Hill looking to throw, but under pressure, and Hill's not going to be able to get away. Another sack. Khalil Long able to bring him down, and going to lose about 10 on the play that time. Khalil Long just bursting right through the middle.
Yeah, Khalil Long, not somebody you'll see light up the stat sheet for Clarion defensively, but that time from his defensive end spot, runs a stunt up the middle and gets Peyton Hill before he can even look downfield.
Screen pass, Agenor able to make a man miss and still going. Agenor spun down right at midfield. Gets past the initial line of scrimmage. So gain of about 11. 3rd down and 8 now here for California.
And this is a big 3rd down here coming up. If Clarion's able to get a stop, they're able to hold on to the momentum they got from their previous offensive drive and hold California to a punt. California trying to press the issue.
Whistle blown, and timeout will be taken by California. This drive of the utmost importance, like you mentioned, Clarion does get the ball back to start the second half, so California trying to do everything they can to put some points on the board before giving Clarion the ball back one final time before the end of the first half. So California takes the timeout, 4:47 remaining here in the second quarter.
And something to note, if California is able to pick up this first down, get into Radcliffe field goal range, they're probably going to have to get a little bit closer than they did last time. Radcliffe with a season-long 46-yarder on their last drive, but the wind is certainly picked up here at Adamson Stadium, blowing from left to right in this direction.
I do have some score updates. Fairmont State able to beat Edinburgh 35-30 in their contest earlier on today. Lockhaven currently beating Westchester 28-21 with 37 seconds left. Slippery Rock beating IUP 30-27, and Shepherd beating Bloomsburg 30-0. Third down and 8. Hill looking to throw. Pass caught by Williams and enough for the first down. Pushed out of bounds inside of Clarion territory. And it's Hill to Williams again. I mean, this connection has been electric so far here for California.
Yeah, they certainly have built a good bit of chemistry. It looked like when Phaeton Hill wound back to throw, he was going to throw it underneath to Rowan Hershey on the outside, well short of the sticks, and then pulls it down. Good read, able to find Williams back behind the defense.
1st and 10. Handoff this time to Agenor. Able to make a man miss and just flipped up. Good job that time by Agenor to pick up some positive yardage as Clarion were bearing down in the backfield. Picks up about 3 on the first down run.
3 on the play, 2nd down and 7.
2nd and 7 now from the Clarion 32. And California in no rush down the stretch here, just trying to take as much time off the clock as possible, not trying to give Clarion another chance here in this first half. 3:30 and running for Hill. Looking to throw. Keeps it himself. Hill will just duck down. Picks up about a yard, nothing more. 3rd down and 6 now for California.
Somebody who's been quiet in this first half is the team leader in sacks for Clarion, Matthew McGregor, the defensive end. He's been in and out of the game so far, but the offensive line doing a good job of keeping Phaeton Hill upright.
4 receivers set for California, 3 on the far, 1 on the near side, Johnson, 1-on-1, and we've seen Hill try to look for him a couple of times, and maybe a good shot as Agenor now sent in motion, and Hill will keep it himself. The design run, but tripped up by the shoelaces. Great shoestring tackle made by Emmanuel Ajayi. I mean, he looked primed to pick up the first down, but just tripped up, and he's not going to be able to get there. 4th down and 3, and it looks like California are willing to roll the dice here and keep the offense out there to attempt this 4th down.
As you mentioned, big play by Ajayi that time. He was laying face down on the turf, looked up and saw Phaeton Hill starting to scramble, just reached the big paw out and able to trip him up just slightly.
Clock will be stopped. I believe another timeout will be taken by California, or the 2-minute timeout, excuse me.
2-minute timeout.
Will be reached. So both teams will have a chance to talk this over. California can talk about whether they do want to keep the offense out here or if they will decide to send Radcliffe and the field goal unit out here to attempt the 3 points.
Yeah, from here you're looking at about another 46-yard field goal, and as I mentioned, the wind is picked up a considerable amount. So Coach Gary Dunn probably not as comfortable sending out Radcliffe with that last field goal just sneaking across the uprights.
Decision time. And again, that was something that Coach talked about on the coaches show last week, where Lehu had after he had already scored on a fullback dive on the goal line, it was a 3rd down and goal from the 1. They didn't get it. And instead of going for it on 4th and goal from the 1, they decided to kick it and get the 3 points. And then Clarion ended up going down, scoring, and winning the game. And he talked about whether or not that was the right decision. And this is another decision that could have some massive ramifications. 4th down and 4. Hale looking to throw. Pass caught over the middle, but I don't think he got there. But the pack is still moving, but looks like California are going to be marked just short. The pass was caught by Lewis, but Lewis was about a yard shy of the 1st down. They needed 4, and he only got 3. Big 4th down stop that time by the Golden Eagle defense.
Yeah, the first real mistake on a decision from Phaeton Hill so far in this game. He dropped back and very quickly ripped that ball over the middle to Lewis into traffic and didn't let any routes develop beyond the 1st down marker. So Hill decides to dump it off underneath, trying to let Lewis make a play after the catch. But Clarion does a nice job rallying to the football.
Gercio and the offense back out there. 1st and 10. Pass caught over the middle. Still on his feet before finally being spun down past the 40-yard line is Williams.
Pass is complete to Williams.
Able to pick up the 1st down, and the clock now starting to move again after the chains have been set. Gercio, designed QB run, has a ton of room and slides down inside of California territory. Too easy that time for Gercio.
Yeah, something to keep an eye on. Clarion's been targeting Amori Thompson, the corner for California, a lot in this first half, liking their matchups on the outside.
Gercio looking to throw once again, airing out down the near side. Pass, is it caught? Did he get his feet in bounds? If so, a phenomenal grab on the near side. Dominic Thomas with the reception. The referees are talking it over if he got a foot in. It looked like he did to me. And they're going to say he did. It looks like he was able to get at least 1 foot in on the drag. And Coach Dunn trying to have a discussion with the referee.
Yeah, that is a really impressive catch by Thomas along the near sideline. And California was looking for a push-off, and they weren't going to get a flag for offensive pass interference because he did a great job at keeping his arm extended and not having the arm condensed and then extending out. Did a great job at keeping the separation that he got from the corner.
Ruling on the previous play, completed pass. California is challenging.
California will challenge the previous play.
Further review.
So the referees will go back and review it. Last week we saw in that game against Edinboro, Neely, the tight end for the Fighting Scots, made probably one of the greatest catches I've ever seen. It was a spinning one-handed grab near the sideline right near the end of the first half, right before Marcatelli threw an interception to Alexi Sangster on the very next play. But a phenomenal grab last week and another one right there if it holds up, as the referees will go to the tent to review the play. And again, another one that if the challenge gets overturned, if Coach Dunn and the Vulcans are able to win the challenge, completely flips the script, as this will back up the Golden Eagle offense, back up another 25, 30 yards all the way back down the field, as that was a deep shot to Thomas.
It appeared at first glance that he was able to get at least 1 foot down. Couldn't tell if he was able to even get 2 down, but even on the replay, it looked like he was able to maintain possession in bounds, and that was a heck of a catch.
Like I said, at least to me, it looked like he was able to to drag at least 1 foot in there. But again, what do I know? I said this last week. What do I know? I know nothing. So the referees go over to the tent. They're going to take a look at the footage they have available to them. They're going to take a look at the review. .127 remaining here in the first half. Could be a chance to kind of stall the momentum out of Clarion just a bit, as this offense was a bit non-existent in that first quarter, but starting to pick up more and more here in the second quarter as it's gone on. We've seen Gercio getting more and more comfortable in the pocket and able to pick up his targets deep down the field.
Yeah, Clarion taking advantage of some matchups that they like offensively, and this is kind of the game that we came in here expecting out of these two teams. We didn't expect either team to really pull away at any point in this contest, and we're going to expect to keep seeing that as this game progresses into the second half.
I mentioned last week, a lot has happened in 20 years, and the game last week I rattled off a ton of things as the referees marched their way back out onto the field to give us a verdict. But still, California getting the victory over Clarion has been a constant. Last week, they were able to get victories over Edinburgh consistently, but we've seen that flip.
The ruling on the field of a completed pass has been upheld. It'll be first down, Clarion. California will be charged with their second timeout of the half, and they have lost the right to challenge.
So the challenge, Coach Dunn and California will lose their challenge. The pass was completed. They will lose their second timeout, so the Vulcans down to one timeout remaining in the half. Pass was complete, so it'll be 1st and 10 for Clarion here at the 14-yard line. So the Vulcans lose their right to challenge in the contest, or for the remainder of the contest, and now we're down to one timeout in the half. Gercio, empty set, looking to throw under pressure, rolling now to his left. Has a man open in the end zone. Did he hold on to it? He did. Touchdown, Clarion. Jones with the score, and Clarion take the lead with 1:21 remaining.
Devon Jones with his 6th touchdown grab of the season. And Gercio did a great job of keeping his eyes downfield as he started to scramble, looked up and found his number 1 target all alone in the end zone, and did a great job putting the ball right on him.
Kick is up, and the kick is good from Curtis. 14-10 the score, 1:21 remaining here in the first half, and I think we'll just keep it here as the time is running low in the first half. Some great pocket presence that time from Gercio, able to escape the pressure and able to find Jones in the end zone, and California have an opportunity to drive down the field one final time here in the first half. They have one timeout. They have 1 minute and 21 seconds left. And again, they need to put some points on the board as this Clarion offense is starting to get some full steam ahead here in the second quarter. I'm going to put some points on the board here before the end of the half, before Clarion gets the ball back to start the second half.
Yeah, with 1:21 left in this first half, there's still plenty of time for California to get into Daniel Radcliffe's range.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Sorry, Harry Radcliffe. My brain has been...
Adrian Gonzalez and Daniel Radcliffe, both in the same... That would be impressive if they were both on the Vulcan football team.
Yeah.
And that'll help California as the kickoff lands out of bounds. So that gives the Vulcans some decent field position to start. So an unforced error on the side of Clarion will give California 1st and 10 from, I believe, the 35-yard line.
Kick out of bounds. Kicking kick. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line.
And so we'll be 1st and 10 from the 35. So California with some decent field position, no time was run off the clock during that kick. So they still have 1:21 remaining. They still have the one timeout. And they have the opportunity with one final drive here left in the first half. Hill with 4 receivers. Takes a snap, looking to throw. Will keep it himself, though. Designed QB run, diving forward, trying to get the first down. About 2 yards shy, 2nd down and 2 for California as they're quickly back to the line. Hill hands off to Agenor this time, spinning off of 1 tackle, still falling forward, brought down right around midfield. The time will stop for a second as the Chains will move their way forward. California still have to move quickly as we're now under a minute to go. The clock now moving once again, 55 seconds left. Hill airing it down the deep near side. Johnson couldn't pull it in. Broken up that time by Adrian Torres. Is able to deliver the hit.
Adrian Torres, the leader in this secondary for Clarion. And Johnson had some space to be able to make that catch. Just felt Torres closing in and kind of shied away from the football a little bit. The old adage, he heard footsteps. And Johnson was bracing for the hit that was coming, but just unable to secure the ball first.
Also placed in a bit of a weird spot right in between Johnson and Williams. Neither one of them really wanted to go for it. 2nd down pass caught by Williams, able to break 2 tackles before picking up the first down. But the ball came out right at the end. But I think the referee is signaling that Williams was down before the ball came out. So California pick up the first down, and they're not going to take two looks about it. Back to the line quickly. First down pass caught by Williams before he's blown up immediately. Shackelford with a big hit. And some words exchanged at the end of the play, but the clock stopped for a second as Williams was able to get out of bounds, or a timeout taken.
And Coach Dunn right in front of
California, their third.
the official, standing right next to him. They both had a pretty good look at that play. Coach Dunn's asking why there wasn't a flag for helmet-to-helmet contact on a defenseless receiver. And it did look like the hit came in high, but it looked like a pretty clean hit for the most part. And
one of those football-style hits, it's hard, but within the rules.
Yeah, there was helmet-to-helmet contact, but Williams had turned upfield at that point, and I couldn't quite see who delivered the hit for Clarion, but it didn't look like he lowered the crown of his helmet at all, and it looked to be far from targeting.
2nd down and 8. Ball on the 33-yard line of Clarion. 4 receivers set here for Hill. Agenor to Hill's right. Clarion setting the pressure. Hill. Pass caught by Johnson. Able to break off 1 tackle. Able to slip the net, breaking off another before running out of bounds. Great moves by D'Avi Johnson.
That time Johnson probably giving Coach Dunn a heart attack, spinning back towards the middle of the field and staying in bounds, but does a great job at breaking a couple tackles and then scampering out of bounds, picking up some extra yardage after the catch.
An injured Golden Eagle, though, on the play. Adrian Torres down after forcing Johnson out of bounds. A huge blow to this Golden Eagles secondary. One of, like you mentioned, one of the leaders for Clarion in that unit down on the California sideline will receive some attention. 26 seconds remaining on the clock. Able to make his way to his feet now. Looks like he's able to walk across the field on his own. Receiving some words from his teammates and the training staff, and hopefully he's all right.
Yeah, Torres and the strong safety, Cameron Thomas, leads that defensive back group for Clarion. And in Torres' absence, it'll be number 29, most likely Eugene Hall, coming into the game to fill that free safety spot as he does jog onto the field.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. California inching ever closer, but not a whole lot of time, so California needs to be precise. Hill looking to throw. Looking for the back of the end zone. Pass. Did he catch it? Incomplete. Johnson pulled it in, but they're going to say he didn't get his feet in bounds. And California are going to hope that wish they had that challenge back, because that one inches away from being a score. But right back to it, 2nd down and 10. 3 receivers set for Hill. Agenor the back. They have DeShields, the lone receiver here on the near side, maybe utilizing that height. Hill looking for the far side again, trying to find that back of the end zone once more. Overthrow intended for Williams.
Pass is incomplete. Intended for Williams.
Yeah, California, these last 2 plays, trying to take advantage of the inside leverage and man coverage that Clarion's calling, letting their receivers break out to the back pylon in the end zone. Peyton Hill probably within a couple feet of having 2 different touchdowns.
3rd and 10, Hill looking to throw, trying to find DeShields. Flag thrown. And California will get another chance. Intended for DeShields. And it was Zay Brisbane on the coverage. And there was a couple of flags thrown. And California moving their offense closer. They look like they're going to have an opportunity.
It looked like.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 16. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line.
Pass interference against Brisbane. So the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line since it took place in the end zone.
As I was going to say, it looked like both officials saw the same thing. Brisbane was in good position, just did not turn his head around to make a play on the ball and played the body instead. That the referees are going to call that every time.
So California have a few cracks at it. 1st and 10. Hill. Pass intercepted right at the goal line. And after all of that, Hill throws it right into the arms of Cameron Thomas. Cam Thomas comes in and saves the day from the score. California right on the doorstep. The strong safety for Clarion comes up with a huge play and picks off Hill and the Vulcans right on the doorstep. And they're going to take the lead into the half.
Yeah, with such little time on the clock, Peyton Hill's being instructed to get rid of the ball quickly so they can try to go for the touchdown on the first play, and if there's still not enough time, if they want to kick a field goal, they can go ahead and do so and give themselves that opportunity for 2 plays. But that time there was just nothing open, and Hill just forced it into a window that wasn't there at all.
Garcia will take a knee, and that will end the first half. Clarion will have the lead 14-10 after 1 half of play, but we still have 1 half remaining here. We're going to take a quick break, and during that break, we'll let you watch all of the homecoming festivities here on the California campus, the marching band performing, and then obviously the homecoming court. You'll see who's announced king and queen. I believe President Jonathan Anderson is here to make some announcements and some speeches and whatnot. So we'll let you enjoy the marching band's performance, and we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back right here on CUTV, CUTV Sports 1, and the PSAC Digital Network. Don't go anywhere.
students, faculty, staff, and administration of Penn West, California, I welcome you to the 2025 Homecoming Celebration. I hope this homecoming has brought back fond memories for our many students, guests, friends, and dignitaries who are with us today. As part of the celebration, California students have been campaigning for the title of Homecoming King and Queen. Many thanks to all of our homecoming court candidates this year. I will now announce our homecoming court. Next up, a senior communication studies major from Uniontown, PA, Brandon Hebda. Brandon is sponsored by Acacia Fraternity, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Alpha Sigma Alpha, California Commuters Club, Cal Democrats, CUTV, Delta Zeta, Hockey, Paranormal Society, Sigma Gamma, University Players, WCAL, and Women's Soccer. Brandon Hebda. Next, a senior communication study major from Harleysville, Pennsylvania, Kennedy Miller. Kennedy is sponsored by Acacia Fraternity, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Alpha Kappa Lambda, Delta Zeta, Penn West Leadership Academy, Phi Sigma Sigma, Sigma Kappa, Sigma Tau Gamma, Student Activities Board, the Welcome Center, and Vulcan's Hockey. Kennedy Miller. Next up is a senior sports management major from McKeesport, Pennsylvania, Sean Kellerman. Sean is sponsored by Accounting Club, Alpha Kappa Lambda, Alpha Sigma Tau, Boxing Club, Cheer, Club Baseball, Delta Zeta, Finance Club, Football, Peer Mentoring Program, Phi Sigma Sigma, and Sigma Kappa. Sean Kellerman. Next up, a senior accounting major from Portage, PA, Rachel Chobaney. It was sponsored by Accounting Club, Alpha Kappa Lambda, Alpha Sigma Tau, Boxing Club, Cheer, Club Baseball, Delta Zeta, Finance Club, Football, Peer Mentoring Program, Phi Sigma Sigma, and Sigma Kappa. Rachel Chobaney. Next up is a senior secondary education social studies major from Baldwin, Pennsylvania, Bill Lindenfelser. Bill is sponsored by Acacia, Alpha Sigma Alpha, Alpha Sigma Tau, Delta Zeta, Men's Rugby, and Sigma Tau Gamma. Bill Lindenfelser. Next is a junior secondary education social studies major from Bentleyville, PA, Sarah Chicatano. Sarah is sponsored by Alpha Sigma Alpha, Delta Zeta, Men's Rugby, Phi Sigma Sigma, and Sigma Tau Gamma. Sarah Chicatano. This is a senior technology education major from Kane, PA, Joe Walters. Joe is sponsored by Alpha Sigma Alpha, Fiji, Men's Rugby, and TIAC. Joe Walters. Next is a senior musical theater major from Elko, PA, Elena Henry. Elena is sponsored by Acacia Fraternity, Alpha Psi Omega, the Screen Printing Club, University Choir, and University Players. Elena Henry. Next is a senior political science and sociology major from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Tyreek Whitson. Tyreek is sponsored by Alpha Lambda Delta, Alpha Sigma Tau, Black Student Union, CORE, Penn West Leadership Academy, Rainbow Alliance, Student Activities Board, Student Association Incorporated, Student Government Association, and University Band. Tyreek Whitson. And finally, a senior criminal justice and political science major from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Lanaya Walker. Lanaya is sponsored by Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Black Student Union, Penn West Leadership Academy, Rainbow Alliance, Student Activities Board, Student Association Incorporated, Student Government Association, and the Career Center. Lanaya Walker. Joining the homecoming court on the field is Dr. John Anderson, president of Penn West University, who's alongside Student Government Association President Sidney Cochran. And now, to crown this year's winners, please help me in introducing the 2024 Homecoming Queen, Monica Ford, and 2024 Homecoming King, John Placco. And now, please help me congratulate this year's Homecoming King, Tyreek Whitson. And now, this year's 2025 Homecoming Queen, Lanaya Walker. Congratulations to all of our 2025 Homecoming Court. Listen carefully during the third quarter as the parade winners and float winners are announced.
Happy homecoming, everyone, and congratulations to our new king and queen of Penn West, California. God present the Vulcan Marching Band under the direction of Dr. Frank Stetter. This afternoon, the homecoming will perform a portion of our 2025-26 production, Magic Cow. Field commanders, Ryan Shiner, Leah Fleming. Is your band ready?
time, we're going to announce the Student Athlete Advisory Committee.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Adamson Stadium as we get ready for the beginning of the second half here between California and Clarion. The Golden Eagles with a 14-10 lead after the first half of play. John Sape and Adam Crawford to take you through the rest of the action. Adam, it was a pretty back and forth first half, but Clarion able to take the lead into the halftime break.
Yeah, Clarion able to string together a couple of drives there at the end of the first half, and the California defense starting to bend and giving up the pass. But something to note coming out of the first half, we expected a good bit of Kalen Simmons running the ball. He only got 2 rushes in that first half, and it was predominantly the aerial attack for Clarion led by Anthony Guisero, and Peyton Hill on the other side, his counterpart, hasn't been in there a whole lot for California. Off to a really fast start on their first drive, on their touchdown drive. Went 5 for 5 on that drive. He ended up 15 of 24 in that first half with the pick with 4 seconds left. But the ground game looked good for California. They possessed the ball for 21 minutes in that first half, and that's something that they're going to want to continue in the second half, but finish off a couple more drives here with some scores.
Yeah, like you said, California had the ball for 21 minutes and 47 seconds in that opening half, but only amounted to 10 points, where Clarion, with only 8 minutes and 13 seconds of possession, were able to put up 2 scores. Garcia, 10 for 15 for 153 yards and 2 touchdowns in that first half in the air, and then 5 rushes for 22 yards on the ground. And it will be the Golden Eagles to receive the ball to start the second half. Hall and Kent back deep to return here for the Golden Eagles. Bit of a squib kick fielded, and takes an awkward bounce. I believe Kent was able to hop on top of it. California trying to catch out the Golden Eagles, but Kent in the right place in the right time, able to recover for Clarion.
Yeah, Kent was about the only man who was even close to getting that ball after it popped loose. A couple of the upmen with a bit of a miscommunication as to who was going to field that one. They both ended up getting a hand on it, and by the end of it, nobody had possession of it. So Kent with a great job at being there behind him to be able to hop on that football and save the possession for Clarion.
And a whistle blown on the referee.
The game clock to 14 minutes and 52 seconds.
Will reset the game clock to 14:52. An additional 23 seconds, added on to the clock. So the Golden Eagles will set up shop 1st and 10 from their own 20. And again, Gercio, super efficient and super dynamic in that first half. We'll see if that continues here into the second half. First down handoff to Simmons, trying to work his way to the outside. Stiff arm onto Thompson before being shoved out of bounds. But only a short gain of about 3.
Pushed out of bounds by Samuel Huff. Gain of about 3 on the play. Second down and 7.
Second down and 7 now here for the Golden Eagles. And Simmons, the leading rusher here, only held to 8 yards in that first half, like you mentioned. 3 receivers set all to the near side here for Gercio. And it will be the handoff back to Simmons, able to break off 1 tackle, still on his feet before being brought down just past the first down marker. And we see what Clarion's identity here in the second half to start, just trying to establish that running attack.
And as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Grant Hopple was back for this California defense, but he did exit that first half with an injury. And Clarion trying to take advantage of his absence by using Simmons to their advantage.
Fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 from the 31. Gercio back to throw, has some time, and has a man over the field. Pass is caught. And it looks like it will be enough for the first down. It's Jones again. Had 3 catches for 38 yards and a touchdown in that first half, but an injured Vulcan down on the play. Looks like number 96, Josh Huff, the injured Vulcan.
Timeout for an injured defensive player.
So Huff will receive some medical attention. That'll stop the clock with 13:22 remaining. And a look ahead at the California schedule. They're at IUP next week before hosting their final home game of the season against Frostburg State. And then 2 away games to finish it off, at Gannon and at Shippensburg to finish the season. And what looked like a PSAC title game in the cards for California just a couple of weeks ago. The dream slowly starting to slip away as Huff able to make his way onto his feet and work his way off the field. But with some results around the PSAC, Slippery Rock able to defeat IUP 30-27. The game still could be in the cards for California, but they still need to get a win here today.
Yeah, after that rough Seton Hill loss at home a couple of weeks ago for California, it was still one of those control your own destiny and you get to where you want to go situations with IUP still coming up and a win over Slippery Rock. But that loss last week to Edinburgh really put a nail in those ideas.
Gercio able to evade the dangers, scrambling and picking up a decent chunky yardage. Gercio just flipping on the burners for a second, picks up about 6, and able to slip by a couple of Vulcans in the backfield.
Second down and 4.
2nd and 4 now here for Clarion as they're quickly back to the line. Gercio, handoff this time. Simmons up the middle, enough for the first down.
Yeah, Clarion late in that first half, once they went to that up-tempo offense, really started to get in a rhythm, started to get some movement up front.
And they didn't have a lot of offensive possession, but it didn't really matter as they're quickly back to the line once again. Simmons on the first down handoff, gains about 3.
Simmons again the ball carrier. Gain of about 3 on the play.
You see them peppering the rushing attack early on in these downs. 2nd down and 7 now here for Clarion. Inside of California territory, ball on the 43. They need to get to the Vulcan 36-yard line. The linebackers creeping up for California, sending the pressure. Gercio back to throw, airing it out down the far sideline. That one's too far away, but a flag thrown in the secondary. It was Amori Thompson on the coverage, intended for Holt Egan. I believe this one's going to go against Thompson.
The initial call is pass interference on Thompson, but with where that ball was thrown, there's no way that can be pass interference.
I called that pass interference against Charney, number 3.
And with how overthrown that ball was, there was no way that it was catchable for the intended target, Holt Egan. Very surprised that the refs didn't pick that flag up.
So give first and 10 from the 28. Gercio stepping up, still on his feet, able to jump up, breaking off of one tackle. Trey Green able to bring him down, but not before picking up another 6 yards on the ground. Gercio just so quick. If he doesn't have his first read, he's out of the pocket immediately. 2nd and 5. Gercio towards the end zone, broken up. Great coverage that time by Keon Powell, able to break that one up.
As you said it, John, great coverage. That is textbook from Keon Powell. Great body position, staying in front of the receiver. And then as soon as he saw the receiver's hands go out to receive the football, he turned his head around to make sure that the refs couldn't call any pass interference.
Intended for Ray Jackson on that play. 3rd down and 5 now here for the Golden Eagles. 11:32 here left in the 3rd quarter. The opening possession for the Golden Eagles. Awkward snap. Gercio. Pass. Incomplete. Another broken up pass from Keon Powell. Brings up a big 4th down.
Powell's having a great game so far today. That's his 3rd breakup already through the first 2 quarters and change.
And that will bring on Andrew Curtis, the kicker.
Andrew Curtis to attempt the 3 points.
On to attempt the field goal. The PSAC Special Teams Player of the Week last week. To make it a touchdown game, Curtis's kick is up, and Andrew Curtis's kick is no good. He missed it wide to the right. It gives California a bit of a lifeline here. 14-10, the score remains with 11:24 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Curtis, who, even though it was maybe just on the verge of his range, kind of seems pretty automatic. That one just veers a little bit to the right. And like you mentioned, the wind earlier, it looks like to have completely died down now at this point. So that one just a big miss on Curtis's part.
Yeah, Curtis, his long on the season entering this game was 33 yards. Hadn't even attempted one from 40+. That time getting into that 40-yard range, just missed it a little bit wide.
Hill and the offense back out there for California. Aguilar on the 1st down run. It's not going to get a whole lot, maybe a yard. And that linebacking core for Clarion just swarming.
Aguilar was pretty effective to start the game, and then we saw a lot of Dejon Criget in that 2nd quarter. But towards the end of that first half, Criget getting stopped a little bit more frequently. Only got 29 yards in that first quarter, or in that first half.
2nd and 9, Hill looking to throw. Rolling now to his right. Pass caught by Johnson. Able to hop up for it. Picks up the 1st down right in front of the Vulcan bench.
And that was great work by Johnson and Hill. Once Hill started scrambling to his right, his only target over there was Johnson, so Johnson knew he had to work with his quarterback. And Hill with a good throw on the back shoulder of Johnson, allowing his receiver to go up and make a play on the football.
Those two in sync. 3 catches now for Johnson for 43 yards. 1st and 10. Handoff reverse, flea flicker. Hill airing it out down the field, looking for Johnson. That pass is incomplete. And Johnson a little shaken up at the end of it, and a helmet came off in the process. Number 16, Zay Brisbane on the coverage, able to do just enough.
It looked like that throw from Hill kind of backed up on him a little bit, sending Johnson, causing him to slow down a little bit, letting Brisbane catch up and make a play on the football.
A couple of trick plays pulled out of the bag here for California in this game. First one more successful, led to their only touchdown. That one not as much. 2nd and 10. Handoff this time. Agenor able to find the hole and able to pick up the first down and a whole lot more inside of Gold Eagle territory. Shackelford on the open field tackle.
And Lloyd Penn, the lone receiver at the bottom, sent on an orbit motion back behind Phaeton Hill, and just a simple zone read going back the other way and good blocking up front. There was nobody left at the second level to meet Agenor, and he got up to that second and third level in a hurry.
Yeah, 19-yard rush that time from Kendrick Agenor. Hill looking to throw him first down. That pass caught by Penn, pushed out of bounds. The spot will be enough for the first down. Oh my gosh, I can't talk today, but California, the offense starting to click. Another first down, 1st and 10 now from the Clarion 33.
Yeah, Phaeton Hill throwing with a lot of confidence here today. Good ball placement on a good majority of these throws. Just the one bad decision with the interception at the end of the first half. Outside of that, he's looked pretty good today.
Fakes the toss. Hill now rolling to his right. Pass is deflected on the pressure that time. Matthew McGregor off the defensive line, able to break that one up.
Yeah, first time we've been able to call McGregor's name from that Clarion defense. He's the leader up front.
Second and 10 from the 33. Penn, the lone receiver on the near side. Handoff this time to Agenor once again. Slips and falls. And looked like he had a little bit more room, but just couldn't quite keep his footing. Gains about 3, 3rd down and 7 now here for California.
That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 8.
And Cal not quite in Harry Radcliffe's field goal range. Going to need to pick up at least 4 or 5 more yards to give their field goal kicker a chance.
3 receiver set here for Hill. Agenor the back alongside of him. 3rd down and 8. Hill takes the snap. Looking to throw. Finds Leahu on the near side. Spins out. Brought down. A gain of about 3. Brought down at the 29. 4th down and 5. 4th and 6, excuse me. And like you said, a little bit out of the range here of Radcliffe, so California will keep the offense out there. 1 of 2 on 4th downs in this game. Hill receiving the signal here from the sideline. 7:25 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. 3 receivers set for him. Takes the snap, looking. Stepping up in the pocket, now rolling. Firing it down the field. Pass is caught. And enough for the first down. Tyler Long with the reception. And another 4th down conversion for California. And they're able to keep the drive alive.
Another good job on the scramble drill. Usually you see these left-handed quarterbacks roll out to their left to the side that they throw to, but Hill good rolling in either direction. Rolls out to his right, and that time Long turned upfield, saw that there was a safety behind him, so he just sat right in the middle of that zone, and Hill found him.
First reception for long on the afternoon. Design QB run. Hill works his way up the field, a gain up about 4. Angle able to bring him down. 2nd and 6 now for California as they look to take the lead. 6:20 remaining here in the third quarter. Handoff to Agenor, able to just make a hop and still on his feet, just the pack getting pushed forward, and looks like it will be enough for the first down. Marked down at the 4-yard line, 1st and goal for California.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of runs right up the gut here from California today, liking their matchups with their interior offensive linemen versus the defensive linemen. And that time, another good push, and Agenor able to find the first down.
Using them, and then they're sending Lehu and Hershey just as the police escorts for Agenor, just right up the gut. 1st and goal. Hershey now in motion, and a flag thrown, and the play will be waved off. False start against California. Number 50, the left guard, Noah Livesay. We'll push him back. It'll now be 1st and goal from the 9. Third penalty for California on the afternoon. Three receivers set. Lewis on the far side. Now Williams motioning alongside to join him. Johnson alone on the far. Williams motion back to the near side again. Hill trying to find Johnson in the back of the end zone, and that one overthrown and incomplete and into the alumni tent.
At that time, California trying to get Hill on the move to his right. Had his man, Diave Johnson, in the back of the end zone, but he had linebackers in front, had to get it over them, and once he got it over them, it just didn't fall down into the hands of Johnson in time.
Like you mentioned earlier, Johnson, a big body receiver, but that one a little bit too far out of the reach for him. 2nd and goal from the 9. Hill, another design QB run, and he's not going to get far. Brought down after a gain of 1. Dylan Tingle able to bring him down. 3rd and goal now for California. The short field giving California a little bit of trouble here. Third down and goal from the 8. Hill. Fade towards the back of the end zone. Pass is caught for the touchdown. Johnson able to haul it in over top of the corner. That time Brisbane couldn't do anything about it. Johnson over his head. And California retake the lead.
And we've been seeing Phaeton Hill going after Diave Johnson for most of this game and giving him those one-on-one 50-50 opportunities. That time the big body receiver gets over the corner and a great catch.
I believe the kids call it getting mossed, as Radcliffe's extra point is good. 17-14 the score. 4:14 remaining here in the third quarter. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back right here on CUTV, CUTV Sports 1, and the PSAC Digital Network. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Adamson Stadium. California retake the lead. An 8-yard strike as Johnson's able to haul it in. Kent fields it at the 11-yard line. He's able to find a lane on the outside. We pushed out of bounds past the 40, but a flag thrown. This one looks like it has the makings of coming back.
Yeah, we've seen Kent break a couple of these kick returns off today, and that's the second time that Boland's had to make a touchdown-saving tackle.
Holding call against Capitasto, and that'll bring the return back. And while we have a second, we have a special celebration. Yesterday was the birthday of a very special man, a man who usually joins us on these broadcasts, but decided to spend his birthday celebration home with his family instead. Mr. Hunter Garman, I'd like to wish you a nice happy birthday with probably the coolest picture I've ever seen. So happy birthday, Hunter. Happy belated birthday, as like I said, it was yesterday, but shout out Hunter Garman. Happy birthday to you. We miss you, and we wish you were here.
Yeah, that was some swag there on that baby picture. I wish mine looked half as cool as that, but happy birthday, Hunter.
Gercio on the first down run picks up a couple, gain of about 4. And that penalty brought back the initial kick return about 30 yards. It was he was pushed out around the 40, and that one brought it all the way back to like the 15-yard line.
Yeah, big penalty, really flipping the field position. Clarion was looking to get some more points on the board to respond to California's touchdown.
Gercio second down, looking to throw. Pass is incomplete, intended for Egan. That one way off the mark. And again, it's Keon Powell on the coverage. And Powell's had himself a phenomenal game so far. And quickly, Clarion looking at 3rd and 7.
Yeah, Powell and Egan matched up again, one-on-one at the bottom of your screen.
3rd and 7. Gercio looking to throw. Pass is caught. Willis quickly on the tackle, and they're not going to get there. Pass was caught by Slomers. And he's about 3 yards shy of the first down. 3 and out by this Golden Eagle offense. Not something really said. We said it once in that first quarter, and that it's been smooth sailing ever since there from Clarion. But great coverage and great stops here from California.
Yeah, that was a great open field tackle by Keith Charney, the safety, to hold Clarion to that 3 and out.
Free killer nearly able to get a block on that one. Williams taking this pump back, able to slip upfield, able to break off a couple of tackles. Williams still on his feet and inside of Clarion territory before finally being wrestled down at the 42-yard line. A great return here for California as they look to extend their lead. When you have someone as explosive as Deontay Williams on the kick returns, I mean, he can make any one of them dangerous.
Yeah, you saw Peyton Hill as soon as Williams was tackled give a fist pump to his offensive line, say, let's go, boys. Trying to extend this lead, trying to hold on to that momentum and really capitalize on the good field position in their last drive that resulted in a touchdown.
California 17, Clarion 14, 2:24 remaining here in the third quarter. And California will start with the ball on the Clarion 42-yard line.
I've been really impressed today with the command that Peyton Hill has had of this offense. So the ref asked for the clock to be reset here.
They add on an extra 8 seconds. 2:32 now added onto the clock. A 28-yard return there for Williams. 1st and 10. Handoff to Agenor, waiting for his blocks to form. Will work up ahead, picks up about 2. Brought down at the 40-yard line.
As we've mentioned, as last season dwindled down and we knew Davis Black was going to be departing as a senior, we were expecting to see Phaeton Hill as the opening week starter. But Roman Purcell, the transfer, comes in and gave California a similar play style on offense. But these last weeks have really struggled, and Phaeton Hill has come in and done a nice job.
Hill looking to throw. Pass incomplete. Broken up, intended for Lewis, but a flag thrown on the complete opposite side of the field. It was Johnson, and it was number 35, Sonny McClinton, tangled up there at the bottom of the field. Waiting to see which way this penalty marker is going to go. An ineligible receiver down the field for California against Hershey.
At that time, Johnson was on the line of scrimmage covering up Hershey, and at that point, Hershey is considered another offensive lineman, not able to get more than 1 yard downfield, and that time stretched that range a little bit too far.
Hill looking to throw on 3rd down, and that pass falls out of bounds, is intended for DeShields. And again, a bit of an awkward spot as it's too far for the field goal. I was going to say it looks like it's too close to punt, but it looks like Gonzalez and the punting unit out there for California, as you don't really want to give Gercio and this Clarion offense some favorable field position. So Gonzalez out there to kick this one away.
Yeah, with the lead, this is a little bit too far to go for it comfortably here. So this is a good decision by Coach Dunn to punt it away.
Gonzalez, high spiraling kick, end over end. And we'll get a favorable roll as it will finally be fielded inside of the 10 and down at the 7. We've seen him have a couple of those punts, and another beauty from Andrew Gonzalez. 2 punts, and both of them inside of the 20. So 1st and 10 from the 7-yard line. Clarion offense back out there once again. And the second half starting out very similar to the similarly. I can say it. I said it.
I had faith in you.
I said it similarly. I said it there. I said it again. That they did in the first half, where it started off very slow, but we saw the momentum start to pick up in that second quarter. Where in that first quarter they really struggled. They couldn't really get a whole lot going, but as the half went on, we saw them start to get the ball moving. But the first down sling is caught by Egan, and Egan off to the races. Only has a couple players to beat. Sangster in pursuit, but Egan's going to get held up, and Egan doesn't have that kind of speed, and Sangster able to force him out of bounds. But, I mean, as I say it, the Golden Eagles completely flipped the field.
Yeah, Clarion hasn't held the ball for very long, but they've had some explosive plays to really flip the field on this California defense.
Simmons on the run. The chains weren't even in position quite yet. A short gain of 1, maybe 2, a 68-yard completion from Gercio to Egan. I said, Clarion moving so fast, the chains weren't able to move their way down the field in time. 2nd down and 7 now. Ball's at the 22-yard line. Egan now over 100 yards. Gercio looking to throw. Scrambling, rolling to his right. Trying to find an option. Has a man in the end zone. If he finds him, Egan made the catch, but a couple of yards out of bounds. If the end zone was extended out a couple yards further, It would have been a touchdown, but that one a little bit more clear than some of the other ones we've had. That one will be incomplete. 3rd down and 7 now here for Clarion.
Yeah, Gersey has done a really good job at extending these plays, and the receivers are working with him very nicely as Egan on his route carried into the end zone and then just kind of drifted away from Keon Powell as Powell's eyes were on the scrambling Gersio, and that time the pass just extended him a little bit too far.
3rd and 7 from the 22. 4 receivers. Gersio looking to throw. California bringing some pressure. Gersio sidearm throw. Pass is caught. Jones breaks a tackle and into the end zone for the touchdown. And just like that, Clarion retake the lead. Similar to the touchdown that Gersio threw to Simmons earlier on, just a breaking route across the field that Simmons was able to work into the end zone. That time Jones able to do something similar, his 2nd touchdown of the day. Curtis on to attempt the extra point. His kick is up, and his kick is good. 21-17 the score. 14 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter, so we'll keep it here. There's not that much time left here, so it doesn't make much sense to send it to back-to-back timeouts. But again, that's the danger behind the mobile quarterback in Gersio, just being able to extend these plays with his feet, just being able to create just enough time to find a breaking open receiver across the field, and then after that, there's enough open space in the middle of the field for Jones that time to do the damage.
Yeah, especially with the Vulcans bringing pressure there, that leaves all of your defensive backs one-on-one on islands, and these 2 Clarion receivers here, Devon Jones and Holt Egan, have been doing a great job at creating space, and we've mentioned it a lot here in this football game. Gersio just extending the play, not allowing that California rush to hit home.
For as long as Gersio has held the ball in a couple of these plays, he's only been sacked once. Goes to the testament of how elusive he is and how well he's been able to maneuver around in the pocket, and once he's been able to escape the pocket, able to find his receivers down the field. Kickoff. Lewis will watch that one into the end zone for the touchback.
Yeah, the Vulcans have been able to get through that offensive line pretty well, but they have been unable to contain Gersio in the pocket, and he's just been able to find those open targets downfield. And the problem with a lot of mobile quarterbacks is whenever they break that contain, they'll immediately pull it down and start running. But Gersio has done a great job at keeping his eyes downfield, looking for his receivers and his playmakers, and doing an even better job at getting the ball to them.
Yeah, Gersio 14 for 23, 258 yards, 3 touchdowns, as well as 8 rushes for 36 yards. 1st and 10 from the 25. Little touch pass to Lewis, trying to find some blockers. Lewis brought down past the 30, brought down at the 33-yard line. And that will take us into the end of the 3rd quarter. It is Clarion 21, California 17. We have 1 quarter remaining here at Adamson Stadium on homecoming weekend here in California. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back at a flash right here on CUTV, CUTV Sports 1, and the PSAC Digital Network.
Students, after the big game and the festivities at the homecoming and community dessert reception, come enjoy theater improv, sports challenges photo booth, face painting, puppetry, giant foam Jenga, and much more. Join us October 18th from 6 to 8 p.m. in the Natali Student Center for games, treats, contests, music, and surprises. All ages invited, and bring your Halloween spirit.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Adamson Stadium. And on your screen right now, you have a shot of Coach Lockhart and the 2005 PSAC title-winning California Vulcan football team honoring their 20th season here at Homecoming. So it's been a day of honoring and congratulating some all-time Vulcan greats. We had Coach Bertinoli and Coach Conti, and then now with Coach Lockhart, just some of the all-time great California coaches here. We've had a ton of success. 1st and 10 now for California to kick off this fourth quarter. Handoff to Agenor, just muscling his way forward in the forward progress. Looks like we'll just give him enough for the first down.
Another strong run from Kendrick Agenor, able to muscle his way beyond that first down marker. He was wrapped up about a yard or two shy. Just able to keep those legs going.
18 rushes for 63 yards now for Agenor. 1st and 10, play action. Design pass right back. Agenor wide open. And Agenor in a ton of room. Tripped up, still on his feet before being brought down at the 11-yard line. Beautiful play design as Agenor looked like he had like the red carpet just laid out for him on this near sideline. 1st and 10, California at the 14.
Yeah, California's called those rollout pass plays a number of times, getting Phaeton Hill and the pocket on the move. And that time just going back against the grain. And Clarion and man coverage, nobody picked up Agenor out of the backfield thinking that it was a play-action pass. And usually on halfback screens, you see a convoy of linemen. That time, there was no need.
Pass caught by Williams over the middle, trying to make some men miss. Brought down inside of the 5. 1st and goal now for California. That was a 50-yard pass from Hill to Agenor on that previous reception. Williams now 8 catches for 96 yards now. 1st and goal from the 4. Once we've seen California get down here, we've seen them struggle in this short field. Hill on the keeper, flipped up and brought down. It was Buzzle back there almost immediately. About a yard loss on the play.
Yeah, the struggle once you get into the red zone as an offense is there's just not a lot of room to work with. The field condenses and the windows in the passing game close in a hurry. And Clarion, knowing that, has been really aggressive against the run from the Vulcans down in this red area, especially inside the 10-yard line.
There was an injured Golden Eagle on the play. It was Kian Mims, number 34, who almost immediately got up onto his feet and ran off the field. So a brief timeout, but California back out there. 2nd down and goal from the 5. Johnson and Williams, the receivers on the far side. Hand off this time to Agenor, just trying to muscle his way forward. Still moving, still pushing, still going forward. And he stopped down at the 1.
And that's where the benefit is, having a running back like Agenor in the backfield. Really tough to bring down with just one guy.
Now Agenor and Craigett both out there for California. Potentially cooking up something special. We haven't seen both of them out there at the same time. Setting up the tush push. Hill under center. Hands it off to Craigett. But Craigett able to fall forward into the end zone for the touchdown. Dejan Craigett gets the score, and California back on top. They looked like they were setting up that infamous tush push. But we've seen so many variants out of it. That time the handoff and just using Lehu and Agenor as lead blockers, and Crackett able to get into the end zone.
It looked like Clarion had it stopped initially, but a great cutback by Crackett, able to find his way into the end zone.
And some movement before the snap on the Clarion side. Could potentially pique the interest of Coach Dunn. If he wants to have a look in, potentially going for 2 here, but he seems pretty content on keeping the field goal unit out there to attempt the extra point. So the ball moved up a yard. Rosensteel out there to make it a field goal game. Rosensteel's kick is up, and his kick is good. 24-21 the score, 11:18 remaining. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back right here on CUTV, CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Digital Network. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. The 1-yard run from Craigett and the extra point from Radcliffe makes it a 3-point game with 11:18 remaining here in the fourth quarter. It's been back and forth in this second half. And much like last week, I hope you don't have anything to do for the next 45 minutes or so, as this one looks like it's going to go down to the wire. Kick return from Clarion will be brought out just shy of the 25-yard line. So Gercio in this offense will set up shop at the 23.
Yeah, as we mentioned at the end of the first half, this game is going to be tightly contested throughout its entirety. No team really, the feel of things has been no team is really going to pull away from each other. And both teams are going to keep responding with counterpunch after counterpunch. And Clarion's looking to take a big swing here and either tie this game up or retake the lead.
Empty set to start things off here for Gercio, and a couple of flags thrown immediately. As the ball was placed into the hands of Jacksons. A snap infraction called against John Smith, the backup center, who's in there for Clarion. That'll back him up 5 yards. 1st and 15 now from the 18-yard line. And they'll add an extra second back onto the clock, so 11:08 now will be right on the game clock. It's got to be the first snap infraction penalty I've seen in a long time here. 1st and 15 now for Clarion. Quick screen pass to Simmons, able to pick up a couple of blocks on the outside, able to just run over Hopkins. Willis able to shove him out of bounds. Gains about 9 on the play.
Yeah, just a simple swing pass out to Simmons. And Simmons, once he got in space, the linebackers from California were slow getting over there, and he had a lot more space than he was probably expecting with a couple good blocks.
2nd and 6 now for the Golden Eagles. 10:35 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Handoff this time to Simmons. Flipped up and a loss on the play. The linebacker swooping downhill this time. A 3-yard loss. 3rd and long now here for the Golden Eagles.
And we haven't seen a lot of play action passes from Clarion, thus allowing these California linebackers at the second level to crash downhill in a hurry that time on Simmons, not allow many yards once he got to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Simmons, 8 rushes now for 29 yards. 3rd and 8. Another empty set for Gercio. Has some time. Pass caught over the middle. Depending on the spot, it looks like they're just going to give it to him. Jones will pick up just enough for the first down.
And Jones that time looked to be brought down a little bit short, but that extra lunge at the end of the play from the 5'9", 150-pound receiver from Clarion, able to get every inch of that first down.
6 catches for 79 yards and 2 touchdowns for Jones. Another empty set for Gercio. We'll see if California looks to bring the pressure. Gercio stepping up, rolling now to his left. Looking to throw down the field, just flips it out of bounds. Trying to avoid the sack. Malachi Thomas in the area, looking to bring him down.
And that time Gercio extending the play once again. And Malachi Thomas in hot pursuit. And it looked like Gercio was really close to that line of scrimmage, almost an illegal forward pass. But then he ran back about 1.5 yards or so, giving him that extra room to deliver that pass downfield. Thomas
and Tawan Bandy, the Vulcans, in pursuit that time on Gercio. 2nd and 10 from the 33, 8:57 remaining. Gercio looking to throw. Has a man over the middle. Pass is caught by Jones again. And Jones has enough for the first down once more. Brought down at the 46. Gained 13 on the play that time. His 7th reception. And quickly, Gercio airing it out deep down the field, looking for the deep kill. Pass is caught again. That time Williams pulls it in. Brought down at the 19-yard line. And we've seen time and time again these deep shots down the sideline pay dividends for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, these chunk plays are coming up clutch for Clarion. Again, Amori Thompson in coverage. He's been the targeted defender.
Gercio looking to throw on first down towards the end zone. Intercepted! Nevin Hopkins with the read, pulls it in, and rips that one away, intended for Jones. And Nevin Hopkins with the biggest interception, the biggest play of the game so far from this Vulcan defense.
And Nevin Hopkins at his safety position that time with a great read. That time, Gracero floated that pass towards his open target at the goal line. And the referees are talking right now whether or not that was a touchback or if that ball was caught at the 1 and Hopkins ran back into the end zone. In that case, that would be a safety, nullifying that turnover.
So discussions had, but the interception from Hopkins able to make the read. Like you said, that time Williams had a step on the corner, but Hopkins, just a beautiful read. Looks like he was just playing center field out there and able to just swoop on in and make the grab. But a lengthy discussion now by the referees. The initial call was that it was a touchback and that the ball would be placed at the 20-yard line. But as the discussion proceeds to go further and further,
I mean, in real time, it looked really close where that ball was caught.
The ruling on the field is that the defender possessed the ball at the 1-yard line and his momentum carried him into the end zone. Therefore, it will be California's ball, first down at the 1-yard line.
so it won't be a touchback, but it will be California ball at the 1. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Vulcans at the 1-yard line. Bit of a dangerous game as Coach Dunn now has a couple of words to say with the referees on the near side.
And the reason that wasn't ruled a safety is the officials deemed his forward progress was stopped at the 1, even though he wasn't being tackled. his forward progress was stopped at the 1, and his momentum carried him into the end zone, which in that case would not result in a safety.
And there's nothing he could really do about it because he can't really make the adjustment to get out.
Now, with where that ball was caught, he had probably 5 yards or so to turn upfield, which in that case, that momentum's not going to kick in time.
So 1st and 10 from the 1. 8:19 remaining in the fourth quarter. California looking for some breathing room, looking to throw it on first down. Airing it out deep down the field. Intended for Johnson on the back of the helmet of Shackelford and incomplete. Great coverage.
Yeah, some good coverage again by Shackelford. Thompson Johnson that time just unable to reach over the back of Shackelford to reel that one in. And again, a shot in the arm for Clarion with a big opportunity to keep California pinned deep.
Handoff this time to Agenor, just trying to give California a little bit of breathing room. He'll pick up a long one, but it's 3rd down and 9. So even after the interception, California in a bit of a rough spot here on the offensive side. 3rd and 9 from their own 2. The offense needs to be careful. The offensive line needs to be careful. Any holding penalty in the end zone will result in a safety. And a pass this close to the end zone can result in a score here for Clarion. Hill looking to throw on 3rd down, stepping up, dumps it off to Agenor, able to break one tackle, hops over another defender, and Agenor able to pick up the first down. Great open field presence that time from Kendrick Agenor.
Agenor keeping this drive alive for California, does a great job at breaking tackles in open space, and Hill with a good job at stepping up in the pocket and just finding his safety blanket in Agenor right in front of him, not allowing that Clarion rush to hit home for a safety.
It's more than enough breathing room now for California. 1st and 10 from their own 15. Hill hands it off to Craig, or keeps it. We'll use Craigette as a lead blocker this time. Gets leveled right around the first down marker. It looks like it will be enough for the first down. And the rushing attack this game for California, a heck of a lot different than it was last week. .139 yards on the ground this week for California. Really is establishing the run. 289 yards through the air for Hill. First down rush, handoff. Short gain on the play. That time from Craigette. Him and Agenor will swap out. 2nd and 9 now from the 20, about the 27-yard line.
As you mentioned, 139 yards on the ground. Now 140 against this very stout Clarion defensive front is certainly a win in and of itself.
Some movement around the line of scrimmage, but nothing called. Clarion only 67 rushing yards on the afternoon. Hill looking to throw. Dump off, finds Agenor again. Spun down about 3 yards shy of the first down marker. 3rd and a long one. 3rd and 2 for California. And they look to be in no rush as they're just trying to take as much time off the clock as possible. 4:52 and running now.
Agenor now with his 5th catch for 82 yards has been really crucial for Peyton Hill coming out of the backfield.
Seen Hill looking to send the pressure. The Shields in motion. Hand off to Craigette, but Craigette isn't going to get there. A second effort, though. Looks like he's going to be a yard shy of the first down. The initial stop made by McGregor off the defensive line. But it looks like he's going to be a yard shy of the first down. And I saw Coach Dunn giving Andrew Gonzalez a couple of extra words out of the as he made his way onto the field. So don't know if we're going to see anything special out of Gonzalez in the punting unit here, which is going to be the normal. But what we've seen in this game so far, I wouldn't be surprised. Willis in motion. And whistles blown, the flag thrown as the play clock winded down to 0. Delay game penalty against California will move them back 5 yards. 4th and 6 now. I think Coach Dunn was just telling Gonzalez to hold off on the kick for as long as possible. Just waste as much time. 3:45 on the clock. Gonzalez to punt, Simmons to return. Clarion looking to send the house. Simmons off of his fingertips, able to recover and forced out of bounds on his own accord at the 14-yard line. So Clarion is going to need to get a field goal at least to stay in the game. They're going to have to go a pretty hefty length down the field with 3:36 remaining.
Yeah, fortunate bounce there to stay within the reach of Simmons, as that kick was high and spiraling and sending him backwards. But Clarion probably looking to have to get around the 20-yard line to give their field goal kicker, Andrew Curtis, a reasonable shot at tying this game up. 3:36 on the clock, all 3 timeouts, and the 2-minute timeout. Time not a factor so far.
Simmons first down run, bounces it outside, spins back inside, picks up 3 on the first down run. And like you said, time not really an issue here for Clarion, but something to keep in the back of their minds.
Especially with the way that they've been able to get chunk plays down the field and those explosive plays, picking up yardage and moving the ball down the field. They haven't really been stuck in their own territory for too long.
Now under 3 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. Williams in motion. Gercio under pressure, and Gercio isn't going to escape this time. Sacked in the backfield. Cedric Vesa able to bring him down. A huge loss. 3rd and 15, a loss of 8 on the sack.
All game long we've seen the quarterback Gercio get flushed out of the pocket backwards, and there's going to be a false start on Clarion. We've seen him get flushed out of the pocket backwards, and that time Vesa got flushed out by the tackle from Clarion.
Then he hit the Samba.
That was a pretty clean Samba. Faked the knee injury too. It had the whole 9 yards to it.
It is Dancing with the Stars season. I saw him hitting the little J. I mean, why not? Coach Dunn said he was the team barber. You know, he's got man of many talents. Dancing could be one of them. 3rd and 19 now here for Clarion. Gercio has some time, airing it out deep down the field, trying to test Powell. And he caught it. Ray Jackson able to pull that one in on the far sideline at the 37-yard line.
And this is where that missed challenge earlier by California really comes back to hurt him, because that play was really close on whether or not he got a foot down.
A gain of 32, and that will take us to the 2-minute timeout. And you make an excellent point, because that one looked like it could go either way, whether or not Jackson was able to get a foot down in bounds or not. but after that missed challenge earlier on in the first half, Coach Dunn doesn't have the opportunity to challenge that play, so it will stand, and now the California has to live with it. 1st and 10 for Clarion, able to convert the 3rd and 18. So it will be 1st and 10 from the 37, with 2 minutes remaining on the clock, and only a 3-point game. And like we said earlier, I really hope you don't have anything going on, because this one was always going to be a nail-biter down to the wire.
Yeah, this game certainly lived up to its expectations in terms of how closely contested this game would be played. And just after looking at the replay, it was really, really tight along that sideline. Jackson leaping to make that grab. Was unsure if he had possession with a foot down before he jumped because he landed out of bounds. So the referees must have deemed that he had possession as he was leaving the ground.
1st and 10 from the 37. California looking to send some pressure. Gercio stepping up. Able to make the reception is Simmons. Simmons breaks off a tackle, and Simmons into California territory. Jackson lost his helmet in the process, trying to throw a block down the field. Simmons pushed out of bounds around the 25-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 from the California 27.
Yeah, I don't know how Gercio got that ball out. He was under a lot of duress in the pocket, but just finds Simmons again, and Simmons able to make a huge play after the catch.
A gain of 32 2 plays ago, a gain of 36 on the last one. 391 passing yards for Anthony Gercio. Gercio pitches it to Simmons. Simmons with a wide hole, able to flipped over at the 15, picks up the 1st down. Clock continuing to move, and now working against California.
And this is where you start to wonder if Coach Dunn will call any of his 3 remaining timeouts to save some time for his offense to get down the field.
In a similar situation to they were last week against Edinboro. Gercio looking to throw, looking for the end zone. Egan, did he hold on to it? He did. Touchdown, Clarion. They retake the lead. Holt Egan able to pull it in. Up against Amori Thompson again. 27-24. A 16-yard strike. And Clarion retake the lead with 1:17 remaining.
At that time, Gercio with a great back shoulder fade to Egan, and Egan does a great job at concentrating and holding on to that ball as he's falling to the ground.
Extra point is up. An extra point from Curtis is good. 1:17 remaining, 28-24 the score. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back right here on CUTV, CUTV Sports 1, and the PSAC Digital Network.
The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference celebrates its 75th season in 2025-26, highlighting the many athletic achievements of its membership institutions. The PSAC has won 59 national team titles, 310 individual titles, produced 29 all-time Olympians, and 43 former PSAC players and coaches have been elected to National Halls of Fame. PSAC proud for 75 years and many more to come.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Adamson Stadium. With 1:17 remaining, Clarion retake the lead 28-24 thanks to a 16-yard reception from Holt Egan. Kick return by Lewis, fielded in his own end zone, and he's going to be held up just past the 10-yard line, so California are going to have to go the distance. And again, they're thrust into a similar situation than they were last week, where they have to go down and score a touchdown. But this time they do have their timeout, so very similar but slightly different situations. But like they say, the time is a flat circle. It always comes circling back. So California, can they right the wrong from last week? Can they do to Clarion what they weren't able to do against Edinboro a week ago and come back and win the football game with a minute left? First and 10 from the 12-yard line. Spencer in motion. Hill. Screen pass finds Agenor. Somehow able to keep his balance, but not able to pick up much, if any. And a lot of time taken off the clock already. Now we're looking to under a minute left. 58 seconds remaining. Hill back to the line. Looking to throw, dumps it off. Finds Agenor over the middle of the field. Agenor, ball comes out, and Clarion hop on top of it. And that's going to be the ball game. A costly fumble from Kendrick Agenor. He had one in the first possession of that Seton Hill game a couple of weeks ago. And this one, with the game on the line, and again, California, when they have to drive down the field, when they have to go down and score a touchdown at the end of the game, they turn it over once again. Last week, Hill threw an interception on the final drive. And this time, they're not going to, Agenor with the fumble.
Yeah, that time Agenor has been so good all game long. That time just took one too many hits on his way to the ground, unable to hold onto the football, and very opportune time for another turnover for Clarion.
Simmons on the rush. California still have all three of their timeouts, so they're going to use their first one here. Clarion, all they need is one first down to seal the deal. Looking to put a damper on the California homecoming before having homecoming of their own next week against Seton Hill. And looking to do what Edinboro did last week, which is to get a victory over California for the first time in 20 years. .39 seconds remaining. 28-24 the score.
And looking ahead at the Clarion schedule with a game coming up against IUP, who currently sits atop of the PSAC West, Clarion still has an outside chance looking in to control their own destiny and end up in that conference championship game representing the West Side. And from what we've seen here today, this is a very formidable opponent, very dynamic and very relentless on the defensive end.
And Slippery Rock able to get a win over IUP today. The PSAC West is as open as it ever has been. Second down handoff. This time Simmons trying to find a lane. Won't find anything. And a quick timeout for California. Their second. 35 seconds remaining on the clock.
Yeah, enough can't be said about the job that head coach Raymond Monica has done with this Clarion team. A couple of years ago, if you would have said that Clarion has a very realistic chance at ending up in the conference championship game in the PSAC, probably looked at you like you're nuts. But a really impressive turnaround, and very quickly at that this team has gone from being one of the easier games on the PSAC schedule to somebody that you really have to look out for and could come home with a conference championship this year.
And for California, if this result stands, this is a 3-game skid that has effectively killed any sort of chances of fighting for the PSAC title in a season where it seemed like after you defeated Slippery Rock as the third down rush and an immediate timeout taken by Coach Dunn in their third and final, where it seemed like you kind of had control, like you said, control of your own destiny to make it back to the PSAC title game again, where last year they were able to make it. They lost against Kutztown, but still they had that opportunity. They beat Slippery Rock. They were able to climb the ranks. They were as high as 6th in the country in the D2 national rankings, but a shock loss to Seton Hill here that you would have thought would have been the wake-up call, and then back-to-back losses after that to two teams that this program hasn't lost to since 2004.
And that was something that we were wondering coming into the season for California about, with this whole new roster and a lot of brand new starters, is the depth that this team had a couple of key injuries happen and some players not really step up in opportune times, and this is the result that they've gotten.
California able to block the kick. Curtis was on to attempt the field goal to make it a touchdown game. So there's still a lifeline for California. 28-24 with 24 seconds left. But California need to be pristine. They need to be perfect here. 1st and 10 from the 25, and they need to force Clarion to have a monumental collapse down the stretch here. They need to have some sort of miracle at the end of this game. But like we've mentioned in some broadcasts before, weirder things have happened. But is there a magical moment here on homecoming? One play, Hill stepping up. Look to keep it himself, just trying to find some time, able to get out of bounds, picks up the first down, stops the clock with 18 seconds left.
Yeah, Clarion lined up initially with 3 safeties back deep, about 20 yards off the ball, trying to keep everything in front of them, make a tackle in bounds.
1st and 10 now from the 36, 18 seconds remaining. Hill doing the same thing, taking the scramble, trying to hop over Buzzle. It looks like he will get out of bounds. Stops the clock with 11 seconds left. It'll be 2nd down and 1. Everyone waiting on bated breath here.
And at this point, California is going to have to look for another short completion or two out of bounds and then line up for a Hail Mary attempt.
Hill airing it out down the field. Pass caught by Williams. Williams able to break a tackle. Williams into the end zone for the touchdown. The miracle has happened. They did it. The time is off the clock. California magic. Phaeton Hill and the Vulcans walk it off. Deontay Williams at the buzzer.
Deontay Williams, the guy that Phaeton Hill has looked at all game long, comes up with the biggest play of the game. Just a simple seam route up the middle. Williams had about 5 yards of separation in the middle of the zone and then just slips one tackle, and he was off to the races.
There's always something in the air with homecoming, right? And there's about 1 million flags thrown on the field after the play.
And the referees added 2 seconds onto the clock, creating a sideline penalty from California, as they all read what we read with triples, the clock reading triple zeros, and all stormed onto the field to go celebrate with Williams and the rest of their offense that, for as the looks of things right now, has pulled this game from the jaws of defeat.
Clarion had it in their grasp, and California rip it away. The referees add on 2 seconds, and we're waiting for the call from the referee. The touchdown is confirmed. That much is known after the play.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct on the California bench. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against the Vulcans will be enforced on the kickoff. So it leaves a little bit of a gap for Clarion on the return, but it will be.
It certainly does leave a bit of a gap because we've seen a couple returns from Clarion on the kickoff almost break free for touchdowns if it weren't for the kicker Bolin making a couple tackles.
Radcliffe on to attempt the extra point. His kick is up, and Radcliffe's kick is good. 31-28 the score, 2 seconds left. And I was about to go into that really sad and depressing monologue. But Williams, he just unbelievable. Have yourself a day. Deontay Williams, 9 catches, 152 yards, and the most important touchdown of the game. Phaeton Hill now 28 for 43, 364 yards and 2 touchdowns. And enough time for one final play here at the end of the game.
And that's the other thing that's really important here. That unsportsmanlike penalty backs up the kickoff 15 yards. And instead of kicking it from the 35-yard line, Bolin now will be kicking it from the 20 and giving the dangerous returners that Clarion has back deep. Kent's been the main guy returning kicks. They got a couple less yards to cover.
So Bolin to kick off from the 20. And like you mentioned, Kent and Hall have had a couple of pretty decent kick returns in this game. And so they'll step all the way up to the 20-yard line of their own.
And Bolin will probably go for the squib option, keep it out of the hands of the dangerous return men, and look for some pitchy woo-woo action here at the end of this game.
Bolin's kick, a line drive squibber. Just absolutely leveled to end the game. Tawan Bandy just cleans him up, a spear to end the game.
And that time the defensive end, Matthew McGregor, one of the leaders on the defense, picks up the football in the squib. And he was looking around for somebody to pitch it to. He looked over the wrong shoulder and saw nobody there and held onto the football just a little bit too long. And Bandy makes a huge play. What a win for the Vulcans.
And again, there's always some magic in the air on homecoming weekend. And I wasn't able to go into this last week, but I can today. And after 20 years, something always will remain consistent, and it is California beating Clarion. Your final score here at Adamson Stadium, it is California 31, Clarion 28 from everyone here at CUTV. Thank you very much for watching. For my broadcast partner, Adam Crawford, my name is Jonathan Sape. And as always, good night, California.